Okay, so greetings, dear Pisces. This one is for you. That's you over here. This is Tarot Illumination with your love and relationship mini reports for July 2018. So I'm just going to dive right in with some notes here before we get into the cards. Key dates. Okay, let's just mark some dates here. We're just coming out of June, heading into the first 2 weeks of July out of this Cancer Capricorn full moon, okay, June 27th. Next is the big new moon eclipse, July 12th. Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, July 12th. Okay, the next big date, July 27th, the Leo Aquarius eclipse. Okay, Moon in Aquarius, Sun in Leo. And the next, stretching things now, going into August, please be aware we're in eclipse season right now, so that's why I'm adding this to the notes. The new moon, August 11th, Leo Sun, Leo Moon, okay? Now, how does this pertain to you, dear Pisces? Let's, you're at the, let's just do it this way. These are just, Tarot Illumination Astro Doodles. Please don't take this too seriously. These are just my personal notes, for when private readings come in and we have to have some references. So this is the looniness that you're going to see for Pisces for the July season. And the thing that I'm not going to go into the astrology in particular. The eclipses are very profound. That's for everybody. For you, they're happening in the 12th and 6th houses, Aquarius, Leo energies. Okay. But for you here, Pisces in particular, this Cancer new moon eclipse, July 12th, is happening right here in your 5th house, okay? 5th house of love, romance. Love and romance. So that is relevant to this little tarot reading here, okay? And because it is an eclipse, you know what that means. You know that certain aspects of your love life are going to be eclipsed out forever, and certain new aspects of your love life are going to be eclipsed in going forward. So it's going to be a very interesting month for you, Pisces, regarding love and relationship. I'm not going to try and predict your future here. This is just a little tiny tarot channel, all right? But just please note, this is very, very profound energy here, very significant, perhaps life-changing for you, dear Pisces. So be alert, especially July the 12th. Alrighty? All right, let's get on with it. Now, the cards are already well shuffled in advance, so we've got that to save a little bit of time for you guys. If you know the routine, we've done this before. If you're new to the channel, well, I have to explain things a little bit, but if you're a regular, then you'll already, please be patient, and we'll get into it in a moment. So, dear viewers, we're going to work with the Tarot Illumination Crucible spread. It's on the understanding that there's you, there's a significant other, and then there's the relationship itself. And the relationship is a third entity, a third energy that has its own integrity, life, meaning, and purpose of its own. Okay? Sometimes that's not discovered until people are already deep in the context of relationship. I'm going to put these over the other way. Okay? So because I'm going to put you onto the left here, okay, Pisces? So here we go. Please forgive me. I need to feel fully settled with the cards. Now, singles, you too can watch this if you want, so long as you understand the laws of attraction on the idea that you are always radiating energy, including the energy of love and relationship, whether you know it or like it or not. It's there, and in which case, what would you possibly attract? Maybe not exactly right now, because if you're not attached right now, then that wouldn't be relevant. So there's like a time issue here, but this is, think of it as like a what-if reading. In other words, you're single. In other words, if something did happen right now, what would that be like? Okay. Otherwise, this is for those of you who are already in some kind of way committed and attached specifically, preferably by choice as opposed to by default settings. Okay. And it is in the crucible, the structure, that we can enjoy the freedom to intimate and separate without feeling like our whole lives are falling apart. That's the whole point of the relationship. It's the whole point of the crucible. A crucible is a very powerful, tough structure that can withstand the intense pressures that happen inside love and relationships. Okay? So here we go. Well, I believe we are ready now. Okay? Please forgive the airplane. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's flying overhead. It's extremely annoying, but we're not going to let that stop us, okay? Here we go. I'm just going to cut it up very randomly, okay? It's kind of messy here. I'm using a different backdrop than normal. Gosh. Sorry about that, people. Okay, here we go. So this would be the love energy and frequencies that you'd be radiating. Love and relationship. Not just gooey romance, but relationship and love in the purest sense. Over here, the significant other. Over here, going deep inside of you. Over here, going deep inside of the other. And to the core, the relationship itself. Already, I hope you can see a crucible here. This crucible is a bowl type structure, okay? Typically in science, they use these a lot. It's a very heavy, sturdy, high refractory structure that can withstand almost anything. And here would be the momentum, okay? And if you think of yourselves as always in the process of intimating and separating in the context of a relationship, then this might make more sense to you. Over here, we're going to look at in a moment about the circumstantial energy, environmental circumstances, things like that, that's out there and around you that would impact all of this. But it's not necessarily your energy. It's something that you might observe or that might be getting reflected back to you. And you have temperance. Okay, so I just saw this as upside down, so that means all of these are upside down. I don't know if I told you, but I don't do reversals, jumpers, flyers. I don't have oracles. I don't do any of that. I have oracle cards, but I don't use them. I got to make sure that this is the right way, and then this is the right way. Okay, so there we go. Please don't read anything into that. There's no mystical significance here as far as tarot illumination is concerned. You can reinterpret that if you want. Perhaps it's something to do with the eclipses. Oh no! So now I think about it, yeah. The Cancer new moon eclipse, July 12th, that is significant. It could really, really shake things up for you, Pisces. Flip things upside down, like we said earlier. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, so with the temperance energy out here, to me this is an indication the fine art of balance and harmony and equilibrium between every single element of your life that can create instability. And in so doing, this is a tremendous chance for you to understand what is it that constitutes stability and finesse and harmony and healing and balance in your life, in your world. Circumstantially, you have the opportunity because, for example, look at it this way from the astrology. Sorry, I don't want to labor this too much, but from the astrology, this is extremely supportive for you, okay? And you're coming out of the full moon from June 27th. So you've got a couple of weeks in the first part of July to get yourself all kind of in the groove here, getting ready for this new moon eclipse. And the Cancerian energy is very harmonious for you. So this might be very interesting, hopefully in a good way. And it looks like the major theme here would be healing. Healing in the context of relationship, okay? Where if there's been some deep disparities, maybe this is the time for genuine true love and healing to move into your life and your world that you've never kind of quite known before. We're taking it to the next level, so to speak. All right, let's have a look. What are you radiating here? Okay, so if you're feeling kind of left out, like that funny feeling, like even if you're like 20-year married or something, or you've got a long-term living boyfriend or long-term living girlfriend, some kind of spouse, mate, partner, and you've got kids, home, mortgages, credit cards, car payments, college loans, and you're up to your neck in it with life. And yet you look at yourself in the mirror, you go to sleep at night and you realize, oh my gosh, who am I? What am I? I'm on my own. Who is this person next to me? Who are these kids? Who are these jobs? Who are these relationships? What is all this stuff around me that is not me? Oh no, oh no, oh no. And my feeling is that it might be kind of a wake-up call where, because these eclipses are not reversible, like eclipses are like doorways, like portals. You go in one side and you come out another side, but there's no going back. They don't allow you to be in an evolutionary tide pool or stagnate. You will be forced to evolve. So if you find yourself in some kind of solitary energy, uh, please, I'm hoping you don't take it personally, just understanding that sometimes it's very, very uncomfortable being with ourselves as the soul entities that we are, born into this planet as a solitary entity, leaving this planet as a solitary entity, and yet we have this amazing journey in the middle. You know, like it's a very scorpionic dynamic here. Birth, life, procreation, death. Okay? Everything between birth and death, we call it life. And it is a journey of the individual. It's for a lot of people, it's actually a spiritual journey. Some people are more wrapped up in like, what can I get? What can I achieve? And they do a lot of stuff on autopilot. But I feel for you here, Pisces, especially since, okay, I can't resist it now, we're going to be having this Aquarius Leo eclipse axis happening right there in your 12th house. It's basically Piscean energy anyway. And the Leo energy over here to do with like the Virgoic type energy of healing. So it might feel to you is that there's some kind of deep, profound soul healing that is coming in the pipeline for you, Pisces, and it's all about you. It's just for you, and there's nothing to fear here about the fact that it is just you. In other words, if you're feeling very, very, very perhaps isolated or acutely aware that there's you and then there's the rest of the world around you, that's okay. Maybe that just needs to come to the surface so you can get a much clearer, better idea of what's going to work going forward for you as you come out of the eclipses here. It looks like there's a lot of healing and recalibrating that's going to have to happen for you, especially because of all of this. These are the healing houses here frequently, but also in love and relationship. So you might end up, well, let's just have a look. Let's just keep going, okay? What about the other? Okay. Okay, well, with the Five of Swords here, my feeling is that, dear Pisces, I'm taking it really to the fringes here with interpretations, but what I'm asking you to do, Pisces, is be extremely acutely aware to the point of like artistry about what works and what doesn't work in your life. Harmony and balance and healing and soothing and coming, being healed, healing others in the context of loving relationship. And then when you get this reflected back to you from a position of realizing, well, it's all on me anyway. At some point, I'm going to have to find out who I really, really am, and on the understanding that I am guided and I am protected in this journey, and it is all about my own spiritual growth and health and healing and restoring balance and harmony, only to discover, perhaps in very hard ways, in other words, despite all the harmonious energy of Cancerian energy, there could be quite a lot of shock waves here because it is an eclipse type of energy. It's very well supported by the Scorpio and Pisces energy anyway, but still it could be shocking to the point where you might look at the relationship itself with a significant other who is kind of not on your page. In fact, they might be very unsympathetic and really kind of out of alignment with you to the point where it's almost like they're gloating, where they would see you as like, ha ha, well, you're going to get what you deserve. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. And of course, you know that's a futile kind of energy. This is the energy of futile conflict here. It's lose-lose energy. So if you, Pisces, in your own clearly defined way, don't be scared of this when you come to a realization, oh my God, it is just me. It is just me, and then there's a significant other. What's actually going on here? What about creating healing, harmony, and balance in an alchemical situation, literally like in the context of a crucible? excuse me, wow, cards are flying, man. Excuse me. Only to realize that you might be relating with someone who is kind of intractable. In other words, it doesn't matter what you say, how you do it, when or where, uh, the response will always be the same. It will be, and it's like whatever it is, it all comes back as though they blame you for whatever the problems are in their life, and they're blaming you for whatever the problems are in your life, and they're blaming you for whatever the problems that exist in the relationship. So it's a lose-lose situation. It's a battle that is not even worth fighting. It's not even worth trying to get into the goop of their mess with them, because you will not prevail. There is no chance here. You're dealing with someone who is perfectly happy to say, you know, 2 and 2 makes 3. And that's just what I believe, in order to confound you. It's like they have absolutely no interest in being on your page or trying to find any kind of health or healing or resolution here. And so you're left on your own trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do now? How am I supposed to do this? Especially if it's in the context of a loving relationship. So with the eclipses, you might be feeling as though everything's building up to a pressure, a crescendo, right very early on in the month, and then that will pan out. And then when you get to the middle of the month, you'll go through the eclipse and then click. A new doorway will open. So you might be going through a very extreme version of being intimate and then being very separate, being intimate, very separate. And then as you go through this, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world or the end of the relationship, but it might be that you're coming to some stark awakenings that need to be understood about you, Pisces, in the context of love and relationship, especially if it is with a significant other, where it's completely intractable no matter what you do. In other words, there's nothing you can do to alter their perceptions and beliefs. They've already chosen the lose-lose posture. So let's focus on you, okay, Pisces? How can we get this to work for you? What's going on inside of you at the depth of you? Okay, my feeling is that there's some kind of immunity going on here where you might be very deeply aware of the futility of certain aspects of your relationship with this significant other, to the point, well, it's just not even worth the bother. It's just simply not worth it. No matter what you've invested, no matter what they've invested, no matter how the relationship looks at this point, remember, it's a story unfolding. There's no point in you, Pisces, getting stuck into their vortex of futile lose-lose behavior, energy, attitudes, perceptions, and beliefs. So deep down, it makes me feel as though you're on your own again here, trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do to protect myself? How am I going to continue to invest? I need to invest in myself, in me, for my own sanity, my own well-being. And there's no apologies here. The eight of Pentacles is, examples of love is as love does. In other words, tangible, deep down, it's time for you, Pisces, to institute tangible practices, events, habits, schedules, activities, goals, dreams, ambitions, desires, romance too, in ways that are evidential to you, okay? Like real, solid. In other words, okay, if I have to go and find a new date, that's what I'm going to do. If I have to get a divorce, that's what I have to do. If I have to look for better work and position. So in other words, doing whatever you have to do to invest in yourself in the most loving way possible, without any regard for the other party, because it's not even their concern at this point, because it looks like they're not even concerned. That's which is kind of tragic. So let's have a look deep inside the other. Okay, well, with the Six of Cups here, it's a little bit confounding, because they might be going through their own kind of like spiritual confusion right now. Who knows who they are? You would know who they are, Pisces. Maybe it's different people. Maybe it's not a marriage. Maybe it's not an exact boyfriend-girlfriend thing, but something who's very significant, romantic, in particular romance. And so at their core, as far as they're concerned, they would be coming from the perspective of what they might believe is a deep soulmate relationship, and they're acting accordingly from their perspective that they're in a deep soulmate relationship with you, but it's not working for them. And so on the surface, they're behaving in this extremely unproductive, futile energy patterns that don't help anybody. And so it's almost at the point where if they're saying, well, I love you, I love you, I love you, you know, at the deep core soul level, and let's say they actually do love you at the deep core soul level, and yet in day-to-day life they're behaving like an absolute PRICK ASSHOLE, then what does it matter? What does it matter to you, Pisces, if they do carry a deep, loving soulmate relationship with you? Because it might be on the fritz. It might be a soulmate relationship that has already lived its life, so to speak. And then what's the point in trying to force things to fit into an expectation that's already expired? So to me, this is very awkward, confounding energy. And if something needs to bust apart and fall apart, my feeling is to invest in yourself, protect yourself, let them do what they're going to do, be how they're going to be, whatever it is. If if you know that you are a deep soulmate with them and they know that you're a deep soulmate with you and you can sense it, but it's not actually happening day to day, please understand that actions speak louder than words, okay? And if their actions are very clearly unloving, this is a problem. In other words, it doesn't matter if they hold you as their soulmate and they feel as though they're being loving and they feel as though that you need to be loving towards them and that you have all this history and everything that's good together, and yet in their actions and their behaviors and attitudes and perceptions and beliefs towards you and the relationship, that's not what's happening, then you've got a problem, Pisces, okay? The relationship has a problem. Let's have a look, okay? So it looks like with the Three of Pentacles here, my feeling is that the relationship is under stress because of this person, not because of you, Pisces. It just feels like a learning phase, and I think it's to do with the eclipse, like a certain way of being for you, Pisces, in love and relationship is over, and a certain new way is going to unfold. And it's going to include the energy of like getting to a point for you, Pisces. Remember, this is your reading for you. This is not a couple's reading, okay? They are incidental. They are here, but it is in the context of relationship. So my feeling is that you might learn by the end of this month what really counts is having a relationship where it's a team effort, where even if they don't understand the minute details of how you are and who you are, when you are, where you are in your love dynamics with them, they're still with you. And even if you don't understand all of their energies and their conflicts and all their baggage, you're still with them in a loving relationship. But it might have taken you this horrible, horrible experience to realize that this is what counts. Being in a loving relationship where there is investment, where both parties are willing to put the work in, where both parties are willing to understand and accept each other's differences and lack of evolution, because you're a work in progress. You are a work in progress. They would be a work in progress. But I just don't think they get it. I don't think they're on your page, Pisces. I think they're all about themselves and all about trying to prove how and why and when and where and that they are right, and trying to do it almost in a state of defiance, even in the face of potential soulmate type energy here. So it might be a really, as lovely as this is, there's deep harmony of the Cancerian energy here, with all of the other eclipse energy over here too, when it comes to spiritual evolution and healing, developing healing practices for yourself, where you deserve to do that. It feels to me that you wouldn't have come to this awakening or this awareness without experiencing this full-on toxicity from over there, okay? So it's an uncomfortable way to learn and grow and understand that you still have to become your own guiding light in the end anyway. and invest into yourself. Love yourself first. Don't expect them to just automatically fit in because you had some kind of soulmate love life relationship earlier on. What about the momentum here? Okay, so to me it feels like things are deeply in question here. To me it feels like the dynamics of this loving relationship are in deep jeopardy and that they are deeply being questioned. But you might not notice any of it on the surface because a lot of this could be very mischievous behavior where they are acting as if everything is okay, as if everything is fine, and whatever's going wrong, it's like being a very, very, not devious, but a very, very skillful chess player who's doing everything. Instead of trying to win and do something to make this effective, they're doing everything they can to prove that they're right because they're not willing to get involved in being a work in progress together, where you accept each other's weaknesses and faults and you enjoy each other in the context of a loving relationship where you can intimate and separate and have a very significant relationship. So my feeling here is that in a nutshell, Pisces, it looks like you have the elements of a very significant relationship that is in deep jeopardy because of their behavior, their actions, and it puts you in a position where circumstantially there's a lot of healing that needs to occur if you want this relationship to endure so that you're not on your own and they're over there doing what they do. So it puts the energy in deep jeopardy where it has to become very, very clear between yourself and a significant other that this is a chosen relationship. This is a relationship that is, in some ways divinely ordained. And so what are we going to do about it? If you guys are on a precipice right now, and if you really value your relationship, you guys are going to have to really get in deep there and do some homework to fix it. But it's really on them to do that. If they're not willing to invest and do loving actions in the way that you're doing here, this becomes futile. This becomes deeply questioned. This whole thing, the relationship, could be starkly exposed for everything and anything that's not working. So it puts you in a point of decision. What am I going to do now about my loving relationship? Because the whole thing is on the line. Okay? So I'm sorry I didn't come up with all sorts of sweet and romantic, gooey stuff like just because we have this Cancer new moon here. The eclipses can be very, very topsy-turvy. They can tip anything and everything upside down. Okay? So please understand that. Please allow for it this month and even going into August. Where's the other one? Where did I mark it? Where's that other date? Okay. Okay, going into August, at the end of July and early August, there's 2 more eclipses, okay? So it's going to be bam, 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 all right? I hope this helps you. I hope you get something out of this, Pisces. I don't mean to hurt your feelings or anything. Take care of yourself, love yourself, trust yourself, continue to invest in yourself. Let them be who they are. And you make decisions based on their actions, not on their potential, not on what if, not what they thought is or was about loving relationship, about what works for you, what actually works for you. It's your chance to create harmony and balance and heal yourself. Love thyself first, okay? And it might have taken a really awkward thing like this to learn that that's what has to happen here for you. All right. Thank you, Pisces. All the best. Bye-bye.